Welcome to www.staxi.com. Today's topic, there's a new wheelchair company in town. Innovation is what makes the market and the economy go around. This applies even to the case of a wheelchair company finding a new and better way to manufacture transport chairs for medical and other institutional uses. Unfortunately, there continues to be a market for wheelchairs for the sick, injured, and moderately to severely mobility impaired. Regardless of whether the condition is short-term, long-term, or permanent for the foreseeable future, individuals as well as institutions will continue to need transport chairs. The salient point that is often missed is that not everyone needs the same kind. Tailoring wheelchairs to the client's needs. It took far too long to recognize that persons with permanent mobility issues might desire or require chairs that enable them to be more active than standard models might allow. However, once that need was acknowledged, the manufacturer of wheelchairs in all formats came quickly, with wheelchair companies like anyone else noticing a market and aiming at it. Today there are chairs on the market that enable paraplegics and double amputees to compete in races or participate in other activities that were once denied them. By the same token, people who would have been forced to be dependent on another person for movement and communication can steer chairs with their breath and talk by picking out letters through facial movements. There is no area that has not been responded to. Institutional wheelchair needs are not being met, or so it seems. However, one of the biggest markets for transport chairs has largely had its particular and specialized needs ignored. Granted, this is generally because most people have failed to really note the need, or if they were aware of it, to believe anything could be done. Fortunately for all, one wheelchair company saw the need, and in filling it has made things better for all parties concerned. The problem is that the needs of facilities are different from that of the individual, but it has been somewhat difficult to articulate these differences in a way that was useful. Thus, hospitals, airports, and other such areas suffered in silence, incurring needless costs in equipment, personnel, and client dissatisfaction. Personal versus public transport chair needs. An individual requires a chair that will best aid in the support of her health and independence. A hospital or other care facility, and even most airports, have various rules and regulations based around patron safety that mandate just the opposite. Further, it is a fact of life that an untenanted wheelchair has an obvious temptation for thieves who can seat themselves, roll the chair out the door, and quickly fold it up, put it in the trunk, and drive off. Of course, there are preventative measures, but it's still a big problem and institutional expense. Hospital personnel load patients in and out of transport chairs dozens of times a day. Standard design puts undue strain on both patient and attendant during this process, nor do most traditional chairs easily adapt to things such as oxygen tanks and infusion pumps. There is a chair on the market that can only be propelled by an attendant whose brakes automatically lock when it isn't moving and which cannot be folded up and easily carted away. It also is built for easy side loading and can be equipped with numerous accessories such as O2 tanks. The cost savings and loss alone will pay for the chairs. Everything else will wind up saving the institution money. All this from one innovative wheelchair company. To find out more information on topics like this, please go to www.staxi.com.